Hello and welcome to the program Hot Button. Meeting a partner's parent has always been adjudged as something very important in a relationship. And most young people have said sometimes it could be uncomfortable, and others have seen it as something that must happen, especially when someone is in a serious relationship or has the right purpose for that relationship. My name is Johnny, and with me on the program are
Chioma Ikeche Bendu
and
Charles Eke.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, today we are looking at meeting a partner's parent. As the case may be, meeting your child's partner or love interest. There are certain situations where some parents will tell you, you cannot marry this person.
Give me reasons why you are saying I should not marry this person.
Also some level of independence from one's parents, because one won't be with the parents forever.
If whatever your parents are bringing to the table are in consonance with the word of God,
Exactly.
you can thereby be bound by what they are saying. Now, is this, first and foremost, is this really important?
Yes, I would say it's very important because the interest of your child, the welfare of your child is always key, or is always optimum for every parent.
Okay.
So it will be it's ideal and proper, and shows and gives that sign of responsibility that your child is able to introduce or let you know who he or she is going out with.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's quite nice. Let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, even from cultural perspective, because when you look at relationship, many a time, you relate with people based on how things are done within the environment where you exist. So even speaking from a cultural perspective, it's important for you to meet your child's love interest. Okay. You're dating someone and you believe that that relationship could lead somewhere. There's nothing wrong, allowing your parents to meet, because at the end of the day, they will also have one or two things to say, whether in form of giving you a report of what they think about the person, or like giving the approval in the end of the day, which of course, is important. So getting them to meet with such a person at that early stage helps them to, take the decision when he gets to that point. So it's important.
Very important. Well, talking about at that early stage. Now, at what stage should parents meet their child's, boyfriend or girlfriend?
Yeah, very important. In fact, at the very beginning.
At the very beginning?
Yes, because of course, when you're training your children, every parent or most parents should be able to or do train their children to bring their friends home.
Okay.
There are some parents who are actually strict, that wouldn't want friends around their children. But this is not a good signal.
Okay.
It doesn't pay off well. You see the people your child is hanging out with, you're able to pick that there's someone who is like very close to your child, and maybe once in a while she talks about it. She could even talk about it with her siblings.
Okay.
And you as a parent, a sensitive parent, will detect that your child is having an inclination to someone.
Okay.
So that child, from that beginning point, should be able to let her or his parents know who he's close with.
Okay.
So I would always say it's better from the early stage, so that whatever, if there's going to be an error, before it progresses so deeply that they can no longer control, the person can make the right and the wise choice.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, from that very early stage where you begin to nurse that feeling.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get your parents involved, like, hey, I'm having feelings towards this person.
Oh,
and all that.
definitely.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Yeah, it's very, very important at that early stage. The feelings should be mutual. Like
Okay.
if the child, like my child, is having feelings towards his or her friends,
Okay.
that's not enough.
Okay.
But at the point where they begin to share that mutual feeling, like
Okay.
having that understanding between themselves that this relationship could lead beyond what it is now,
Okay.
it is important for he or she to mention it to the parent. Because if I mention just about my feeling, fine, but you know, it remains at that level, because
Okay.
it might be that what you're having in mind is not what your other friend is having in mind.
Okay.
So you don't jump and begin to talk so much and get carried away without allowing the other person to also make his or her interest or feeling known.
Okay.
But when both parties have had the understanding that, look, I think we should begin to think about this. The moment it comes through and both of them have had such discussion, then parents should get involved, because you know at the end it won't be your decision alone.
Okay.
You have to get your parents involved,
Okay.
and sometimes also some other members of your family, okay, should also be carried along, so that everybody will know that this is where this relationship is heading to. In case they see you on the road or on the street, you know, as the case may be, they won't say, who is that? Why is she or why is he? You know, things like that. So if they know, fine. Everybody is relaxed, and whoever is not relaxed or whoever is not comfortable with such relationship, or the relationship leading to like being together in the future, then the person can also voice out.
Okay.
I don't like who I'm seeing your daughter with. Remember, that guy is this or that girl is this or something of that nature, and that helps the parents to advise the child rightly, and sometimes it could also lead to crucial decisions even at that beginning stage.
At that beginning
Yes,
stage.
so it's very, very important at that early
but,
stage.
but the point is, the moment you have had that agreement, like, hey, I have this feeling for you, and I can see that you also have the
Exactly,
same feeling, and
exactly.
we agree to say,
Yes,
hey,
yes.
let's take this to the next level. Parents should be
Perfect.
Yes,
involved
yes.
at that
Exactly,
stage.
exactly.
Wow, this sounds. I'm sure a lot of young people are wondering, like, the moment we agree, and then we'll get the parents involved. Now, how should that person, how should the child's boyfriend or girlfriend be then introduced to the parents?
Well, initially I talked about culture, okay, and I think it also has a role to play at this level. You don't just walk up. Well, it depends on the relationship and what is acceptable also. When you talk about culture, it could be the larger culture outside. It could also be the family culture. Yes. So how you relate with your parents, in the family. But you just have to look at what is going around you and know how best to present, whether first to your mom or to your dad. Most ladies will always, even the guys anyway, they will always go to their mom first. Okay, fine. If that is what works, then do it. She will find a way to mention it to your dad. But then if you're also close to your dad and you have such discussions with him and you think it's okay, fine. But it's just important to mention it to one of them. Okay, at that beginning stage. So find the right approach, depending on what is obtainable around you, and make sure you explore it rightly, so that talk to them when you think they want to listen to you, when you can get their attention, especially in that aspect. And I also want to believe that even before then, like Dr. Choma mentioned earlier on, parents also give their children instruction about how to bring their friends home. Some parents leave the door open and say, look, all your friends, I want to see them. You're free to bring them home. I told my children that, look, feel free to bring your friends home, and just make sure that they are good people, Don't just, it's not anybody, but anybody that's your friend that you're close with, feel free to bring them home. And then some will say, oh, I don't want, like, it shouldn't be the casual friends. Like, if it is the serious ones, make sure, of course, you bring that person home. So, depending on what the situation had already been, the child should be able to know how to go about it. Okay, but if you don't know, then perhaps you can ask questions, maybe your friends, or, just people who are close to you. Maybe if you have a guardian or a mentor, you can also speak to such a person to tell you how to go about it at that beginning stage.
However, parents should create an enabling environment that will make
that
their
is very
children
important. Yeah,
introduce their parents.
Exactly.
And then there was a point you made that I like so much. You said you can either talk to one of the parents, either you talk to the mother or you talk to the father. Either way, both of them will still get to know. And I like that part, because sometimes when you say, daddy, sit down, mommy, sit down, it becomes something very serious. You know, when both of them have to sit down for you to tell.
Listen to.
But you can casually, informally talk to your mother, talk to your father, and knowing that definitely, since 2 is 1, you know, they can still go back and then have that information shared.
Yeah.
All right, so how should a child go about introducing his girlfriend or his boyfriend when they are in a relationship?
It depends on the relationship between the child and the parents.
Okay.
Of course, if your children are your friends, they can always introduce their friends
Okay.
anywhere, anytime.
Okay.
For me, because, well, my people will say that there's no particular place where they build house for cases or matter that you can discuss anything.
Especially in the family.
Anywhere. So you can meet me on the road and call me and say, mommy, the guy I was telling you about, that guy I was talking to you about, that is him. I could be driving with my daughter and she's like, mommy, remember the guy? Or, yes, mommy, there's something I want to tell you. That guy. Daddy, that guy. You know, you've been asking me my relationship life and all of that. That's the guy that I feel is nice, fresh, you know.
Okay.
Because they might not just say, that's my boyfriend.
Okay.
Because in our culture, it looks absurd to
Okay.
say, that's my boyfriend. In fact, it's heavy in the mouth.
Sounds quite disrespectful if you're telling
Yes,
your father or mother.
yes.
that.
But for in the Western culture, it might be different.
Okay.
But here, a lot of us are a little bit withdrawn. We might not just say, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend. So we will try to say it in a way that is, it will be a little bit diplomatic.
Okay.
So they could just say, daddy, you've been asking me about my relationship. That's the guy I feel he's cute.
Okay.
That's the guy I feel he's fresh.
Okay.
You know. And when they do that, you understand as a parent.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, so who is he? What's his name? And she tells you.
Okay.
So they could introduce the person to you either anywhere.
It doesn't have to
Let's
be
not-
bring him home.
Yes, it must not be bring him home.
Okay.
Because you might, everything must not be formal.
Okay.
Your children should be free with you to talk with you anytime, anywhere.
Okay.
So you don't have stringent measures
Okay.
that they have to follow. If not, they won't be open to you.
Okay.
So make that the atmosphere friendly,
Okay.
so that they can always at any time whisper something in your ear.
Okay.
You can even be in the church and they're like, mommy, that's the guy, and you turn and they can now, your countenance, your approach will make them formally introduce the person and say, meet
Okay.
Jide.
Or just come say hi to my mom.
Yes,
or
come say
dad.
hi to my mom. I told her about you, mommy. That's Jide. And you're like, okay, how are you doing? You know,
Okay.
it could be in church. It could be after service.
Okay.
It could be maybe in a wedding.
Okay.
It could be also at home.
At home.
Yes,
But it has to be a flexible and approachable way.
and a friendly way.
In a friendly way.
Yes.
Okay, so do you believe in that? Like,
Yeah.
because for some people they'll say, well, if he is serious about your case, why doesn't he come say hi to us at home?
Yeah, and that's the point I want to talk
Okay.
about. Okay, it's good to create that ambience whereby your child can talk to you anywhere
Okay.
or mention any of such issue to you. You know,
Okay.
Depending on the case, you know, probably you meet them accidentally, or perhaps you meet the other person accidentally on the road.
Okay.
Or as she just pointed out, maybe in the church or somewhere else. Okay, but beyond that, you know that if we meet that person on the road, it may not give the parents that opportunity to give a balanced assessment of whom
Okay.
he or she is.
Okay.
Okay, so they need probably to talk together.
Okay.
The parents may want to ask him or her some questions, or just get to observe the person from a closer range.
Okay.
And that is where bringing the person home, you know, is important.
Okay.
If your parent is at home and your friend comes to the house, your parents will be able to ask some questions.
Okay.
What do you do? Who are you? Who are your parents? And stuff like that.
Okay.
And that happens more when the relationship is moving from just casual relationship to something more serious.
More serious.
If it's a casual relationship and you introduce your friend to me, perhaps it just ends there. We'll talk and, fine, you know, your schoolmate or whoever he or she is, it ends there. But if it is moving to something more serious, like both of you thinking of getting married or something like that, then the child must bring the person home for the parents to get a closer assessment of who he or she is. That is where bringing them home, you know, is important. And why also for me it's important even from that beginning stage, even when they are not thinking of getting serious. You know, sometimes what the parents can see, the child may not be able to see. In fact, in most cases, right? So you can bring your friend home, and just seeing that friend, probably the way he looks, the way she looks, and how he dresses and how he talks, you know that perhaps your home setting, the things you're trying to teach your child within the home is not the same as what that child is being. Yes, so you now want to say, wow, that your friend, the way he talks and the way he dressed and things like that, I think you just have to be careful, you know, things like that. So that observation helps the parents to guide the child right. But if it is someone you think you share a similar philosophy both in the home and beyond, then you are relaxed, because sometimes you may not even know who your child is. You get to know your child better through their friends.
Through their friends?
Yes.
Wow.
So if you're not close to their friends, or if you don't know them, you may not be able to understand the kind of person your child is too, because they may hide themselves from you. But like they are themselves with their friends. So
that's very
true. through their friends, through the way their friends behave, or through the way they talk, or even some of the things they may share with you about your child will help you understand, gain a better insight about your child. So that is why it's good for you to know your friend, know your child's friends.
But you see, when it comes to that, come home, meet my parent, a lot of us get very nervous.
It doesn't have to be formal.
Can't we do this thing on phone?
Okay, you mean the introduction?
Yes. Can't I just reach you on phone like, hey, my name is, I'm the one who, you know. Can't I do that? Madam, what do you think? I can't call you and tell you I'm the one dating your daughter?
Well, there are no hard and fast rules about anything. It depends on where the person is. Because I've met a lot of people, even in our counseling sessions, where people meet loved ones, very good ones, and they got married, and they are wonderful couples even today. Some of them met maybe friends on Facebook. Some people usually don't advise that. Maybe your friend's partner to be is in the US, or is in Zimbabwe, or is in Switzerland or somewhere. So meeting such person when it comes to phone or text message might be acceptable. The person might even be in the same location with you. And he just feels, okay, can I just speak with your mom? Can I speak with your dad? Let me just say hello to them. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, the person definitely will get home.
So you can do the phone call, maybe a little bit of distance, or try to get friendlier a little bit, and then you proceed to coming home.
Definitely.
So the phone should just be like a surface. Do you agree, or you don't think I should?
Well, the thing is that if I have to take a call from my child's friend, then there must have been a kind of, let me say, premonition. Like my child would have told me things about that person.
But that's the first time I want to talk to you. Maybe I'm talking to him. Can I say hi to your dad?
If it is you know, someone who is in a place where he or she cannot easily come, maybe far away from home and things like that, and it happens to be that they have been having this relationship, however, and my child has been telling me about him or her, and now said, oh, my friend wants to say hello to you. And I'm like, who is your friend? oh, the person I mentioned, okay, this person or that person or stuff like that. Okay, once fine, we can talk.
Okay.
But you know, there are things you also may not be able to tell me. If it is just to say hello, hi, fine. But the day you want to talk to me about serious issues, then you have to make a time to come.
To be home. Wow, wow,
we
wow.
may not be able to be talking
okay.
about that.
Okay. So there has to be that stage of trying to be friendly, and then later on try to like do things in the right order. Wow. Now you said something earlier, like when we meet these children, our children's partner, will be able to know the kind of person they are, the kind of things they do. Now, are parents supposed to do follow-up or backup checks on their child's maybe partner or boyfriend or girlfriend?
It's very important.
Wow.
It's very important so that you don't make a mistake. When your child has introduced someone to you and probably has started dating that person,
okay,
there should be a follow-up check and a background check.
Okay.
To know, because children at times and teenagers can also pretend.
Okay.
You might need to do some background check to know that person's lifestyle, the person's family background.
Okay.
The person might be a very fetish person, might be a drug addict.
Okay.
And some of these things are not acceptable by the family.
Okay.
So you will need to find out if that child is truly responsible as he portrays to be.
Okay.
So there needs to be a background check by the parents.
So it's very important to do it.
Very, very important to maintain the safety of their child.
Okay.
Because we've seen a lot of children who've gone into relationships and marriages, and at the end of the day, they end up being killed, being murdered by their partners.
Okay.
So you need to know, even there are some families that have very serious anger issues. So you need to do a very strong background check so that you don't lose your child in the course of relationship.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me hear from you.
Yeah. You see, where I come from, background check is very important.
Very important.
Okay. The moment you, that's why I said that. You know, it may even not just be between the child and the parent. Sometimes it goes beyond that to even the extended family. You see people, members of the family who know that this guy wants to marry a girl from our family, or maybe our son is coming into your family. They do all sort of background check, even beyond the immediate family. They want to know who the great-grandfather is and what did they do. Is there a case of sudden death in their family? Is there anybody stealing? Or, you know, they do all this, sometimes even without letting the child know.
Wow.
And they bring, you know, their opinions forward based on their findings. Right, so it's very, very important. I agree with all that. Sometimes some people can overdo it because people have different opinions about some of these things. But background check is very important. She has mentioned key aspects, even the ones that can affect the immediate family, like the child and the significant other, like both of them.
Yes.
Families may look even beyond. They may say, is it this one that the brother or one of their family members stole some time ago? Is that the person that we're going to be in-laws with? That one doesn't affect the child and the partner, right? Yeah. So you might say, but that was in the past. But those ones that can affect two of them, very, very important. Who is this guy? Important. Who is this girl? What are their past like? And things like that. So it's important to look into all those aspects.
Okay. You know, when some people hear this thing, it sounds like this is going to be too serious. For God's sake, we're just dating yet. We have not moved to marry. Why do you want me to go through all this and then you do all that? So where something makes a child to withdraw and say, I'm not introducing my boyfriend, I'm not introducing my girlfriend, how should parents go about? I mean, is it out of place for parents to now request and say, hey, I want to meet your boyfriend, I want to meet your girlfriend?
When that child seems not to be,
you know, coming forth
to introduce, I would still cancel the child.
Okay.
I would talk with the child. I would discuss and insist that please try and bring this person home.
Because it's important.
I'll mount pressure subtly and in all ways that I can to make sure that this child comes out from that whatever he's battling with to be able to introduce me to the person. I will insist.
That's great.
Yeah, many parents do that. Like I was talking to a group of 300 level students just last week. So I was telling them that, look, in the next 1 year or thereabout, some of you will graduate from this university, and you know, all sort of pressures will be coming towards you. If it is not career, it could be relationship. In fact, your parents will begin to ask you, who is he or who is she? You mean you spent 4 years in the university and you've not introduced anybody to us and all that?
Okay.
Parents do that, especially when the child is not coming forth. And I don't think it's out of place, because if you have your child, what else do you wish that child? Beyond going to school, you know, building a nice career, you also want your family to build a nice home.
Definitely.
And of course, you know that this relationship takes a lot of time, a little bit of time before it matures. So you want them to also start on time, okay, and not maybe becoming a little bit under pressure much later in life. So you want them to introduce whoever it is to you as early as possible, so that you can also be part of the whole thing as it matures into something more serious.
Okay. But you see, there are people who say it is not the introduction that matters. It's not me meeting. There are ways with which you should. Are there some ways that can be considered inappropriate ways of meeting, you know, my child's boyfriend or girlfriend? Are there ways you can look at and say, this is not so good? I don't want to meet your boyfriend like this. I don't want to meet your girlfriend like that.
That is serious. I would say it's the best way to meet is in a friendly way.
Okay.
Either at home, in church, or at school, wherever.
Okay.
That's the first meeting.
Okay.
But the proper official meeting should be done in an official way at home.
So you mean if I am your child now and I have a girlfriend, and I don't want to tell you, and then maybe you hear it from one of my friends and say, mommy, see Johnny's girlfriend. Is that inappropriate?
It's not inappropriate.
Okay.
Because your friends tend to know first, even before the parents.
Okay.
So they might just say, they are drawing your attention to something. So when they say that, you're like, oh, are you serious? Oh, that's interesting. But I've not seen him before. Maybe I'll take out time, I'll find out.
So that's okay?
Yes.
All right, let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, when you talk about being inappropriate, I would say that you don't have to wait until something bad happens.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to know your friend when both of you are now fighting. You understand? You come to tell me that someone broke your heart, but I never met that person before. How come you got to that level? Or maybe if it's a daughter, God forbid, you're now pregnant, and then I have to know your friend or someone you're in a relationship through that manner. So I would say these are, you know, of course, I don't want to know your friend through these ways.
All in all, there is an appropriate way of meeting a partner's parent. Thank you so much for being a part of this program. Very inciting and very expository. We have learned so much from this program today. Well, that's the much we can take on the program today. We hope you have learned something and you're holding on to something very important. Meeting a partner's parent is important, and introducing your partner to your parents is equally important. Why? Because your parents have this foresight over time as a result of experience that you may not have, and they can always point us in the right direction. Thank you for being a part of the program. Join us same time next week. God bless you.